Alright, as part of this setup for the Cub for mowing season video, I'm going to do a special section that I'll probably film this separately or post this separately. As I said before, we have to change the belt on this deck because the old one's cracked. So let me just give you a setup with that, and then we'll get into doing that for you. Now, first of all, I'm standing behind the mower deck. The roller up there, that's the front, faces the front of the engine, the front of the tractor. Of course, there's your side discharge chute on the right. This is tricky just because it's 162 inches long, this belt. I mean, that's like, what, 13.5 feet? And it's got, it's actually a total of 6 pulleys that it's got to go around, including, that counts the one on the bottom side of the power takeoff clutch on the tractor. So there is a diagram here on the deck. This is the 50-inch deck for the Cub LTX 1050, in case you didn't remember that or I didn't mention it in this video. This is the diagram that shows you how to loop the belt around. Now the top loop there, the thing that's pointing towards the top of the picture, that's the loop that attaches to the underside of the tractor on the pulley on the power takeoff clutch. So just to orient you with that. But then some of the rest of these loops, as you can see, seem to go around and around and around. So my suggestion is, if you've taken this off and you haven't taken the belt off yet, is take a picture or take a video screenshot, whatever, of how it's assembled this way. And then if you have to refer to something after you take this old belt off and you've got to figure out where the new one goes, sometimes those diagrams are difficult to make out or to figure out which goes first, second, whatever. But if you have a picture like this, it can help you because you say, okay, this is what it's going to look like when it's done. So that's what I would suggest you do. First and foremost is get some image of this with the old belt on. If you haven't taken it off or it didn't shred or whatever, that it's not where it should be. This is the way it was operating for you. So that's the first step to do, and then once you do that, then you've got an image to look at or a video to look at while you're doing it in case you run into a problem. Okay, I'm going to come back to you when I take this off. I'll tell you what I've done. There are a couple of prep things that you have to do with it. For example, this spring has to be released from the bolt head there, so it takes some tension off, and you have to loosen the bolts on these 2 pulleys here to be able to get the belt around them properly. So let me do that, and then I'll come back to you with the belt off, and then we'll show you how you put the new one on. Hopefully I can remember how to do it correctly too, so I'll be back. Okay folks, I'm having all kinds of trouble with this camera today. I don't know how much of that previous section of video I actually got before the camera turned off on me. The battery, even though it was supposed to have been fully charged, obviously it's going bad. So I'm not going to take the new belt all the way off and start all over again, but I'll walk you through this one more time. Quick tutorial on this for changing this belt, the 50-inch deck on the LTX 1050. So 3 things: take the spring off the bolt. To take some tension off, you have to take this 1/2-inch bolt out so that you can remove this pulley, so that you can get the belt behind it, because this wall along here, this support here on the housing, it won't fit otherwise, and this supporting bracket there. So 1/2-inch comes right off. The other pulley here, this one is a 9/16. Don't ask me why they have 2 different size bolts there. It just makes no sense. It's, you know. And this is not just bolted into the bracket here. It actually goes right through it, and the bolt sticks down and there's a nut on the underside, so you have to work blind. I did that in the other one. I don't know if you'll see it or you saw it or not. So I didn't have to take this all the way off, but I had to loosen it up just enough to be able to fit this in behind, again, this wall here. So those three things you want to do before you start this, to get the old belt off and then to be able to put the new one on. Remove this, loosen that, take that off of there. Okay, then let me walk you through what I did. 162 inch by ½ inch belt. That's a huge belt to try to deal with. So what I did was I went over here on the right hand side. This stupid camera strap, I wish I'd, never mind. I started in the back of this pulley from the outside spindle here, ran all the way across the bottom, and then looped it around the bottom of this other spindle on this side. So that was a long straight run, as according to the diagram there. From there, after I came off of that, I brought the belt over through this way, in behind, and it's backwards now. It's the back edge that's on this pulley. In this pulley and into where the support wall is here, and then just brought it up to the loop that's going to be on the PTO clutch. Now then, I could have continued with that, but I thought it'd be easier. The other part of the belt that was on this spindle, bring up, across the top, around this top spindle here. Spindle, I keep calling spindle, pulley. And then come down, follow my finger here, down, and you're going to go around this other pulley. Again, this is the backwards edge there, so that it will fit into the behind this wall, and then you just continue up, and then you've got your complete loop, your loose loop for the PTO clutch. Now then you have to put the bolt back in. I didn't quite tighten it down yet, but I got it in there fairly snug so it can't go anywhere. And then you got to tighten this one back down too with your, slip your wrench underneath there into the nut. You're working kind of blind to do that. It was a pain in the neck. And then, like so, I'm ready to put it back on the tractor. I am not going to put the spring on yet because I need the slack in this part of the loop so that I can get it around the pulley on the underside of the tractor, the PTO clutch pulley. After that's looped in there and it's secured with the bracket that's under there and all the other hard points where the deck connects, the sway bars front and back, and then the two side lift supports, then I can put this spring back onto tension up the whole system. And I'll show you that again, how I've done that with the wire and pulling it manually. So, shorter way to explain how to do this. I hope this was helpful to you. Again, I don't know what I got on the other video. Maybe I'm redundant here, but we'll see. I just wanted at least one good explanation for you because this is a miserable deck to work on, a miserable belt. So, thank you for. Okay, we're all back together. All I have to do is attach that spring to the bolt, pull it over the bolt so that it's tensioned, the whole thing is tensioned. It's too strong a spring to just kind of grab a hold of with the pliers and pull, which is what you want. I mean, this is the thing that keeps the belt taut and the blades running as fast as you want them to run. So you don't want anything weak, but it's a pain in the neck to try to get back on. Here's a little trick that somebody had on YouTube that I've copied before. You take a piece of heavy wire, wrap it around the hook on the spring, and then twist it good and tight on the other end, stick a screwdriver in there, and use it as a pull handle. I'm kind of straddling the front wheel here, and I'm going to put my feet on the front of the deck there and the front wheel there to try to push against. Now, I don't know if I can do this one-handed and hold the camera. I'm going to give it a try. If not, I'll have to turn the camera off and do it two-handed. And I can't even really get the tripod down here somehow to give you a better shot of it, me doing it, but this is basically what works. Now I've got to do a two-handed.